All right, are we ready? That's good. We have started. Good morning from United Kingdom. So it's like a Eurovision contest. So welcome everyone, those who are joining our live event. Uh, Today is World Delirium Awareness Day, and it has already started in Australia and other countries across other continents, and then now we're going live in UK. So we've got Eleni Fixter, who works with me in the Northeast, and then Anna Blythe, who also works in the Northeast. And we have got Professor Alistair McClellan from Scotland and Mark Hudson, also from Scotland. And thank you, Kimberly, for joining, and thank you for those people who might be joining later on when the recording goes on YouTube. So we would like to wish everyone that the support has been amazing in the last 2 weeks, I would say, because this time we called it a Delirium Marchathon, and we have been doing one webinar a day from 1st of March, and it's been amazing. So I'm just going to quickly share my slide, and then I'm going to just take you through a little bit of a journey. Me and Eleni will talk through that, and then what we will do is I'm just going to slowly. Can you see the slides? Yeah. Sorry, I was just having a technical moment. Can you see the slides, Eleni?
Yeah, I can see the start of it, yeah.
Okay, so sorry about it, as usual, early morning. Welcome everyone, and I was just going to say we started our journey in 2014 in the Northeast, and we have gone through quite a bit. I don't want to bore you with everything, but Eleni might want to start what happened in 2015 just briefly.
Yeah, I guess it was 2014 when we decided that there was kind of a widespread issue with people being able to spot delirium, and that was when we were working in liaison mental health, so working one foot in the liaison hospital and 1 foot within mental health. So it was kind of that physical mental health overall. And we figured out there was quite a lot of delirium going on, but it wasn't particularly being recognised. And so an education programme was born at that point. We've gone on to kind of develop a lot of resources, and we've kind of grown over the years to where we are today. But back then all we had was, well, I was pregnant with twins, so I was waddling from ward to ward with my sugary sweets, trying to get people to sit and listen for me for 5-10 minutes. I gave them posted a little bit of a handout to understand what delirium was, and culture started shifting, confidence started growing, and from that positive we've kind of taken that forward to develop and to encourage other people to be as aware of delirium as what we can do, really.
Yeah. So just to put some highlights in, so we have conducted several conferences, and details will be there in some of our other talks. We were very proud to acquire like a travel bus, like a Melissa educational bus, and then we also got a massive inflatable brain we named him Eric. It has got an acronym for an enhanced learning through immersive learning. So it's an inflatable brain where you can walk through. We try to use it to raise awareness. Normally on World Delirium Day, the Melissa and Eric would have made a travel, but unfortunately not this year. We developed 2 YouTube videos, and then Eleni had a concept about Spidel, I Spy Delirium, and then her mom kindly knitted a massive spider, and that was a big conversation starter. We went around hospital talking about, because spider, people can hallucinate with spider. That's how we linked the spider to delirium. And then this year we did a delirium marchathon where we had this idea, amazing that I had an idea about the marchathon, and from America, Heidi Lindorf, she also had a similar idea. So we clubbed them together. So we had one webinar every day from 1st of March until yesterday. And then Heidi is kicking off the International Delirium Organization, 36 hours of non-stop live streaming, which already started from last night. That's Australian time. And then we did a video, like a simulation video called Being Bella, but we re-edited it and we showcased it from our teams. And also we developed, with a collaboration with the Midlands group, there's an app that has been developed, which can be used in care homes. Details all will be in our Health Education England website. So I thought, just to give you some highlight of what we have been doing in the last few years, I'm going to pass over to Professor McCulloch. Alistair?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get my slides loaded. Do you see them?
Yeah.
Great.
It went away, Alistair. Oops. I think he's gone off. Mark, you want to come on?
I don't have a lot to say today.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep rehashing the same ground I keep banging on, but
Yeah.
just that Delirium Awareness Day is a great thing, but let's not forget that it should be a day-to-day thing and not just the 17th of March thing.
Yeah.
And Professor McCulloch's back, so if he's
Yeah.
fixed his problems, we can transition smoothly back to him.
Thank you, Mark. That's a very important point. It's not for today. It's like, when you talk about dogs are not for Christmas. So Delirium Day is every day. Thank you. Yeah, we can see the slides, Alistair.
Yeah, so sorry, I don't know what happened there. So yes, it's so exciting to be here again on one of the most exciting days of the year for people in the field, and proudly showing this year's logo and the various social media links that you can see on that slide. So I just wanted to just give very short slides, because I think in our preparations for World Delirium Day, we had many discussions, and I think there was a consensus that the field has come really far, and we've gone from it being almost non-existent on the scene to being talked about quite a bit, but still a long way to go with making it mainstream. So I thought that, I would try and talk about how we can move from this position where delirium is certainly making an impact in the policy sphere, and there's more articles appearing and so on. But how can we just move from that to becoming normal, just like we expect good pneumonia care to be the norm in hospitals? And this is one of the many accounts that you see of delirium. So I'll just give you a second to read this. So this and many other experiences, and Mark, who's on the call today, has also spoken eloquently about, what it's like to have delirium. And, these are the only reasons that we need really to take good care of delirium, quite apart from all the medical and other reasons. And I quite like to divide delirium care into these 3 main domains. And I think it's quite good for us to try and understand how our institutions are doing against those 3 targets. If we look on a global level, it's pretty clear that we're still got quite a long way to go. We have Some places are quite good at detecting delirium, but many barely detect it at all. The treatment side of delirium still needs a huge amount of work. And even though we do have good evidence for prevention strategies, we don't have that much evidence that they're really being implemented successfully and having an impact. So this is an overview of the kinds of things that have been shown over the last 10 or 20 years as people have tried to implement better delirium care, the things that work, and actually the things that you kind of need to address so that you get the good result. Just doing quality improvement projects or just doing setting up standards isn't going to be enough. You kind of need to do all of these things to make it work, because they all depend on each other. And I think education is something that we really need to highlight. Andy Teodorchuk and colleagues have written this very important systematic review, which is in European Geriatric Medicine. I strongly recommend that article, because it doesn't only say that education helps people to know more, it may even improve patient outcomes. So it's very exciting. This is another strategy to improve delirium care. Another area of work that is growing in delirium but still quite small, and one of the UK delirium leads, Emma Vardy, is also leading globally on this with this great article in the top left there, and also a big project that was published a couple of years ago in Age and Aging. There's a couple of big American studies that have come out recently, so I think hopefully we'll be seeing growth of QI as a method to provide better delirium care in the three aspects of prevention, detection and treatment. Locally, we've tried to implement the 4ET over the last few years, and at the front door in our two big hospitals, we've had some success in implementing it, with more than 75% of our older patients undergoing a 4ET at the front door, and about 17% of them being positive in these data. These are slightly out of date now, and we're updating that soon. And it's also, the 4ET is also a tool used in the National Hip Fracture Database. So in all UK patients, it's used, and with 90% completion rates on a quarter are positive, which is about right. There's also an American example there from Houston, Texas, where since 2015 it's been used. So this is one of many tools that people can choose to use. But I think the value of doing this kind of work, where you look at the real clinical population instead of just doing a validation study, shows you whether you really are detecting delirium at the kind of levels you need to, what you want to detect it at. This is another example that was presented yesterday from Monash, where through a QI project, through education, delirium screening became normal. Basically, that's the title of the talk. You know, it becomes the norm to look for delirium, and with an associated reduction in length of stay, which possibly is partly due to it with delirium detection and better care. Delirium treatment is something that's barely covered in the literature. There's only 3 RCTs and a small number of QI studies. This is one model which is aligned with the SIGN guidelines on delirium treatment, showing that delirium treatment actually requires a lot of different domains of activity, from checking that somebody's not very unwell at the beginning, which, because that's, delirium can obviously be a presenting feature of low glucose or low oxygen or other severe life-threatening causes, and all these other domains matter. And I think that, I really hope that over the next few years we will see more attention on the processes of delirium treatment, from determining what's causing it, to optimizing everything, to specifically looking for distress, for trying to prevent complications like falls, like pressure sores, and so on, making communication with patients and carers better, and making it routine, that we speak to families, give them leaflets, tell them what's going on, that we have methods for monitoring for recovery, that we rehabilitate people during delirium and as they're recovering from the delirium too, and also that, especially if they're older, that we never forget to look for the possibility of underlying dementia, and also that these people may have a high risk of dementia in the future. There aren't that many large evidence-based guidelines in the world. The NICE guidelines from England and the SIGN guidelines from Scotland are 2 examples. Australia also has clinical care standards. So I hope that we'll also see a growth of national guidelines, evidence-based guidelines, which again make a big difference in improving care. So just to conclude, this year we're lucky to have 3 large delirium association meetings: the ADS in June, the Australasian meeting in September, and the European in November. And the Australasian one is a physical meeting for those that can come, and I believe there will be also some element of streaming and so you can attend online to that as well. But we don't really know what the travel situation is going to be for international visitors yet for that meeting. And that's all I have to say. So we're looking forward to a very exciting day, and let's hope we can check in a few years and do another recap and say, look, what a difference we've seen in making delirium care much more normal part of what we expect in hospitals. Thank you.
Thank you, Alistair. That's really succinctly summarized. I think we've been having 2 weeks of, delirium kind of a feast of, talking about and raising awareness. But as Mark and others pointed out, it's not for one day. And I just want to put one slide and then we'll ask a few quick comments before we close. Just going to put this slide, this one. What I was saying was, I think we need some call for action. We need a global awareness campaign. I know we have got the World Delirium Day, but I do think that considering WHO has got this decade as the decade of healthy aging, we should be calling for WHO to recognize delirium is an important part of healthy aging. And then together we should be able to conquer, as Alistair rightly put, the key is awareness, knowledge and skill, education every step of the way. I know sometimes, these events may not be enough, but I'm sure Alistair will agree and others in here today that sometimes, 2014, even I didn't know a lot about even anybody doing anything about delirium. Now, at least everybody is talking about delirium. That is a big change, as Alistair mentioned, from 5% detection to 13%. It's not massive, but it is there. But hopefully in the next few years that we will be definitely, detecting more delirium. If you detect soon, you will prevent soon. Mark, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up from Alice's talk there. Obviously, I'm a patient, so I see delirium in a very different way. So I would certainly say probably 10 years ago when I had my colectomy, I am almost 100% sure that I had delirium. But it was never spoke about, it was never caught, it was never treated. I was just essentially left with it till it resolved. That is certainly no longer the case. Delirium is talked about and it is caught through the various tools. There's still a long way to go because I don't feel that my delirium last year was really addressed. It was, oh, he's got delirium. Yep, okay, tick. And there was no active things, but there has been, even just from my single person observation, a massive shift. It's now at least spoken about and to an extent understood, which that's, once the ball's moving, it's easier to keep it moving and speed it up than getting that initial push over the hill. So yeah, I just feel from my opposite view of it from the rest of the people on the call that I certainly see progress. Obviously we're not there yet, but we're moving in the right way.
Thank you, Mark. Anna, how has this been?
It's been really good to share the awareness and the passion for delirium. For me, it reinforces how valuable my team is, being able to detect delirium early on, seeing the patients and the families through that journey. As Mark was saying, he felt very much on his own, whereas with the team, we would see the patient through the journey of delirium, and I just think it reinforces to me how important the team is.
Thank you. I think we've got Sophie Jenkins. Do you want to say something, Sophie? I know we met on Twitter. Feel free to give your comments.
Well, I thought it's saying anything at the minute because I haven't started my new post. I'm to be due to start at the end of the month on a orthogeriatric ward and then working across the frailty pathway. So I was just really interested in learning more about delirium, having come from an acute stroke background, so where we're dealing with cognitive problems all the time, but we don't necessarily think of it as delirium on that part because of the neurological deficit. So I don't really
Welcome.
have much
Welcome to the delirium journey, and you will be a big champion even before you starting your career. You are well on the way. So welcome, and we'll all be able to support you in your journey. Eleni, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, it's lovely to see so many other people that are interested in delirium. Because when we first started out, if you Googled it, there was probably 1 or 2 articles, research bits there. But if you go on social media, right, or Google delirium now, there is so many new names, and I think kind of being able to link in with quite a lot of them and talk to them over emails this year, it's been absolutely amazing. So hopefully we'll continue with that vibe and people start getting a little bit more interested. And again, as Mark's written it in the chat there, but if there's so many good resources out there now, and all of us that have been part of this process, if we've got a background on, we're more than happy to be contacted, either as a social, email. There's a lot of help and support out there, so yeah, don't hesitate. If you've got that interest, run with it.
And then I think we're nearly time. Okay, we didn't want to prolong it. There is somebody. Sarah Harris is there. Hi, Sarah. Do you want to say something?
Good morning.
Good
I don't know if you
morning.
can hear me.
We can hear you very well, loud and clear.
Oh, great. I'm fairly new to like promoting delirium in my trust. So I'm a paramedic, I'm doing a master's, and I'm using QI to promote the identification and the use of the 4AT within the community by a paramedic. So that's what I'm currently doing.
Fantastic. We've got Kimberly. Kimberly, do you want to say something?
Morning.
Morning. Hi, welcome.
Yeah, I knew Professor McCulloch in the RIE, although I had a different surname as Gollin. So last year did a couple sort of poster presentations for the wards to try and
fantastic,
embed it. And I had a staff action plan, so like calling it delirium, making sure people had their glasses, all the things we can do. So this year I've taken it to Queen Margaret Uni, and although this year, because I was new, I've not done much, but next year definitely going to make it a bit more of an event, so that hopefully then the students across all the allied health professions are aware of it for their placements and when they actually get to practice.
Fantastic. I think what a way to kind of kick off the UK-wide delirium day. I think we've got a multi-professional allied health professional. We've got every paramedic. We've got patient leader. So I think thank you all for joining. This will be available on YouTube later today. And have a great World Delirium Day, but have a great World Delirium year. Have a great World Delirium decade. And let's conquer delirium. And thank you all for your attention. Thank you. Have a great day. Yeah, thank you.